I discovered the exact formula 500 millionaires used to build their fortunes, and the first principle is so powerful it transformed a broke train hopper into Thomas Edison's business partner in just 5 years. I'm Napoleon Hill. Andrew Carnegie hired me to study men like Edison, Ford, Rockefeller, and Roosevelt for 25 years. These titans built empires from nothing, and I uncovered their 13 specific principles of success. Today, I'm revealing the first and most crucial principle, the foundation that makes everything else possible. Master this one principle, and you'll instantly separate yourself from 95% of people who merely dream but never achieve. In 1905, a young man named Edwin C. decided he was going to become the business partner of the great inventor Thomas Edison. Not his employee, his partner. There was just one problem. Barnes had no money, no education, no connections, and no way to even get an introduction to Edison. In fact, he was so broke, he couldn't afford a passenger ticket to get to Edison's laboratory in New Jersey. So what did he do? He hopped a freight train and traveled in the boxcar with the cattle and cargo. When he arrived, he looked like a tramp. But there was something in his eyes that made Edison give him a chance, as a floor sweeper. Most people would have complained, I came to be a partner, not a janitor, but not Barnes. He knew exactly what he wanted, and he refused to quit. For years, he worked tirelessly looking for his opportunity. Then one day, Edison invented a dictating machine that his salesman couldn't sell. Barnes saw his chance. He knew he could sell it. He asked for the opportunity, and Edison gave it to him. Not only did Barnes sell the machine, but he sold it so successfully that Edison gave him a contract to distribute it nationwide. From that partnership, Barnes made millions and achieved exactly what he had set out to do years earlier. This is the power of what I call definite purpose. When Barnes stepped off that freight train, he looked like a failure, but his thoughts were those of a millionaire, and that made all the difference. So what exactly is definite purpose? It's not a wish, it's not a hope, it's not a dream. It's a burning desire coupled with unwavering faith that you will achieve it. Let me make this crystal clear. There is a massive difference between saying, I wish I had $1 million and I will have $1 million by X date, and this is exactly how I learn it. The first is a wish that goes nowhere. The second is a definite purpose that your mind can transform into reality. Look at the difference. The wishful thinker says, I hope things get better. The purposeful achiever says, I will make things better, and this is exactly how. The wishful thinker drifts through life, taking whatever comes. The purposeful achiever moves with precision toward a specific target. The wishful thinker changes direction with every setback. The purposeful achiever turns every obstacle into a stepping stone. And here's what most people never realize. Your mind works exactly like a heat-seeking missile. Give it a clear target, and it will find ways to hit that target that you cannot possibly see right now. Here's why 98% of people fail to achieve success. They never decide exactly what they want. They drift through life, taking whatever comes, never commanding their mind to focus on a specific goal. Imagine setting sail on a ship without a destination or chart. You might travel for days across the open sea, spending your provisions and time, but you'd never arrive anywhere meaningful. You'd be at the mercy of the winds and currents, just as most people live their entire lives. I've interviewed over 25,000 people who considered themselves failures. The overwhelming majority had one thing in common. They had no definite purpose. When I asked what they wanted from life, they would say things like happiness or security or enough money. These are not definite purposes, they're vague wishes. Your mind cannot achieve a vague target. If I told you to go into a forest and look for something valuable, you might wander for hours. But if I told you exactly where to find a chest containing $10,000, you'd walk straight to it. Now I'm going to give you the exact 6 steps to transform any desire into its physical or financial equivalent. These steps are so powerful that Andrew Carnegie used them to build the largest steel empire in the world, starting with almost nothing. Step 1. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money or specific achievement you desire. Being vague is fatal to success. Don't say, I want a lot of money. Say, I will acquire X dollars by X date. Your mind needs precision to work effectively. There's a psychological reason for this specificity. Your subconscious mind works with pictures, not general concepts. Give it a clear picture, and it will work day and night to bring it into reality. This is not mystical, it's how your brain is wired to function. Step 2. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return for what you desire. There is no such reality as something for nothing. You must give to get. This is where most people fail. They want the rewards without the service. But the universe operates on an ironclad law of exchange. If you want to receive $20,000, you must provide $20,000 worth of service or value, no exceptions. The wonderful part is that you can decide what service you'll provide based on your skills and passions, but you must be specific about what you'll give, just as you were about what you'll receive. Step 3. Establish a definite date by which you intend to acquire the money or achieve your goal. Without a deadline, your mind lacks urgency and focus. A goal without a deadline is merely a wish. When you set a deadline, your subconscious mind begins to work with a sense of urgency. It stops procrastinating and starts finding solutions immediately. Your deadline creates the necessary pressure that turns coal into diamonds. Without this pressure, even the best intentions remain just that, intentions, never achievements. Step 4. Create a definite plan to carry out your desire and begin at once, not tomorrow. Not when conditions are perfect. Begin now, whether you feel ready or not. Here's a crucial secret. Your plan does not need to be perfect. In fact, it probably won't be. But you must start immediately with whatever plan you have. As you take action, better plans will emerge. Doors will open that you cannot see right now. Opportunities will appear that you cannot possibly anticipate. But none of this happens until you begin. Remember Barnes? When he hopped that freight train, he had no perfect plan for becoming Edison's partner. But he took action, and that action eventually revealed the perfect opportunity. Step 5. Write a clear, concise statement of your desire, the time frame for its acquisition, what you'll give in exchange, and your plan for achieving it. There is incredible power in putting your purpose in writing. It moves your goal from the realm of imagination to the physical world. It makes your purpose tangible and real. Your written statement should be specific, positive, and in the present tense. For example, I am earning X dollars by X date by providing X service. Step 6. Read your written statement aloud twice daily, once upon waking and once before sleeping. As you read, see and feel yourself already in possession of what you desire. This final step may seem simple, but it is perhaps the most powerful. When you read your statement aloud with emotion, you are programming your subconscious mind to work on your behalf 24 hours a day. These 6 steps are not theory. They are the exact steps followed by every successful person I studied, from Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford to Thomas Edison. And they will work for you just as effectively as they worked for them. Let me show you how definite purpose has transformed ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Henry Ford had a definite purpose to build a car that the average worker could afford. When he announced this purpose, people laughed at him. His own engineers told him it was impossible to build his V8 engine. They said it couldn't be done. Do you know what Ford said? Produce it anyway. No excuses. For 6 months, his engineers tried and failed. Another 6 months, still failure. But Ford refused to abandon his definite purpose. And eventually they succeeded, revolutionizing the automotive industry and making Ford one of the richest men in the world. My own son was born without normal hearing capacity. Doctors said he would likely be deaf and mute for life, but I refused to accept this. I formed a definite purpose that my son would hear and speak. I visualized it daily. I planted this purpose in his young mind through positive suggestion. I told him his hearing difficulty was not a liability, but an asset that would bring him great advantages. Today, my son not only hears and speaks normally, but he has gone on to help thousands of other hearing-impaired people. What doctors said was impossible became reality through the power of definite purpose. Consider Colonel Harlan Sanders, who at age 65 was broke, living on a $105 monthly Social Security check. He had one asset, a chicken recipe. With this single recipe and a burning desire to succeed, he traveled across America, sleeping in his car, being rejected over 1,000 times before someone finally said yes. He had a definite purpose, to franchise his chicken recipe and create a restaurant empire. Despite his advanced age and countless rejections, he refused to give up. Eventually, he built Kentucky Fried Chicken into a global enterprise worth millions and became a household name. The circumstances differ, but the principle remains constant. Those who succeed have a clear, specific, burning desire, a definite purpose that they refuse to abandon despite all obstacles. Now, I want you to put this principle into action immediately. Here's exactly what I want you to do today. First, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for at least 30 minutes. Take out a piece of paper. Yes, physical paper works best for this exercise. Second, at the top of the paper, write, "My definite purpose." Then write down exactly what you want to achieve and by when. Be completely specific. Include amounts, dates, and details. Third, write down exactly what you'll give in exchange for achieving this purpose. Remember, there's no such thing as something for nothing. Fourth, write out your plan of action, the first steps you'll take starting today to move toward your purpose. Fifth, create your statement of purpose, combining all these elements, and commit to reading it aloud twice daily. Now, you might be thinking, but Napoleon, what about obstacles? What if I face difficulties or setbacks? The road to your definite purpose will not be smooth. You will face obstacles. You will encounter critics. You will have moments of doubt. This is guaranteed. But here's what you must understand. Obstacles are not stop signs. They are guideposts. They show you where you need to grow, what skills you need to develop, what weaknesses you need to strengthen. When Henry Ford's engineers failed for months, that wasn't a sign to give up. It was information telling him to persist longer than anyone thought possible. Your obstacles will do the same for you if you maintain your definite purpose. Every achievement, every fortune, every invention begins with a burning desire. Without this starting point, the remaining principles cannot function. But desire alone is not enough. That is why in my next video, I shall reveal the second principle that transforms desire into reality, faith. You shall learn how to develop unwavering belief in your ability to attain that which you desire. Until next time, remember, success comes to those who become success conscious.